Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. In this video, we'll look at how to pronounce distinct, extinct, and precinct. So we'll look at the letters I-N-C-T at the ends of words and how those are pronounced, and we'll also talk about the vowel sounds in these words and specifically how we say or don't say the k sound in these words. So let's start with actually the word inked, which has a different spelling than these, but the same sounds. So in the word distinct and the word inked, we have the same sounds at the end, which is the I vowel, the what I call the NG sound or the ng sound, the k sound, and the t sound. So if I'm just saying the word ink, I can let my K sound out, ink. We need to put that in ink. I'm going to hear that burst of air. It's an aspirated K. It's going to release out. When I'm saying inked, I actually can use that same little burst of air, but it's very soft because my main burst is going to be on the t at the end, inked. So you can hear if I just do the K and T sounds or the k and t sounds, it's going to sound like kt, kt, inked. So there is a tiny little k before my t, inked. However, you can also say this inked, where you're not really letting much air out of that K, and you're doing what's called an unreleased K, but we can't drop the K. If I drop the K, it's going to sound like inked. You can hear how that inked, this NG sound is a continuing sound. So if I drop the K and I go directly from that continuing ing into the t, inked, inked. That time the first time I did a K, then you're going to hear that there's no stop in the air and it won't sound the same. Versus inked. If I stop the NG and to mark that K sound and I release on the T, that's okay. I think it's probably easier for most people to do a tiny little k and then the t sound and to think of the K being there. Whether or not you use this unreleased K or a very tiny release of the K into the T, don't think of the K as being gone. You probably won't have the correct sound for these words. Okay, another question from a different viewer was talking about in words with the I vowel and the NG sound. Here we spell that NG sound with the letter N. Does the I vowel change? And so if you hear the sound of I before a nasal consonant like N or ng or it will be a little tenser and a little higher than if it weren't. So if I'm saying it's ink, it's an ink, those are both the I sound, but you can hear how in ink or pink, ing, because my tongue is high in the back for my getting ready for my ng sound, it may lift my I sound as well. But it doesn't lift it all the way to an E. I'm not saying pink or ink. There's no E tense quality to it. It's definitely still the I vowel. It's going to just sound different to your ear than it will if it doesn't have a nasal sound after it. So if I'm saying it, did, etc., it's going to sound different than win, and especially than wing or ping or pink. That NG has the biggest change to the vowel before it. I've talked about this in relation to the and especially the vowels like man and men, how the vowel sounds a little bit different, but it is, you do want to think about that I vowel being your vowel in these words, distinct, extinct, and precinct. Okay, so that's a lot of detail about the end of the word, but those were the questions from viewers that I wanted to make sure I addressed. And these kinds of details make a difference when you're looking at what small details may sound slightly different in your speech that make it sound accented on these words. Looking at the more basic pronunciation details for distinct, we're stressing on the stinct syllable, and that means our first vowel is going to be, again, a reduced vowel, the I sound, di. So we don't want any tension there, and it's going to be very short, and my stinct is going to be long, distinct. It was very distinct. These two are distinct from one another. Then when it comes to extinct, same thing, second syllable stress, same second syllable with the same details we talked about above. And in this word, the letters EX are going to sound like ix or extinct. You might hear people say this with a little bit of an S sound like extinct, extinct. What's most important is that this first syllable is short and the vowel is going to be reduced, whichever vowel you use. It's not going to be extinct or extinct, but extinct, extinct. So somewhere between the I and the eh vowel for this first unstressed syllable, and make sure the vowel is reduced. Then lastly, we can also have the stress on the first syllable in these types of words, which we have in the word precinct. The pre is stressed. It has letter E, has a clear E vowel. There's our tense vowel. And then precinct, the cinct is the same. We're missing the t sound here, so it's not stinct, but synced, precinct. But we still have the same phenomenon for the inked ending on precinct. Once you can say distinct, extinct, and precinct by themselves, do try practicing them in some short phrases, just so they come smoothly and naturally to you in your everyday speech. I gave you a few examples for distinct. For extinct, you might try, for example, that species became extinct 100 million years ago. We're worried about the species becoming extinct because of climate change. For precinct, you might try, he works at the local precinct. He's down at the precinct. Thanks so much for watching this video. For your comments, suggestions, and questions, feel free to leave comments on this or any of my videos. If you have a request you'd like to see me cover, if you have questions about this topic or another topic for American English pronunciation, I'm happy to respond and cover those in a Word of the Day video for you. You can also attend our Saturday live question and answer classes. Type questions in the chat and I'll answer them for you live. That's each Saturday here on the channel at 9:15 West Coast time and 12:15 p.m. East Coast time here in the US. You can check those out, the upcoming live streams. You'll see them if you go to our channel at Speech Modification. You can see the upcoming videos. If you need more help for the sounds in these words, that I sound, the ng sound, understanding sounds and spelling, some of those basic fundamentals for pronunciation, check out our Sounds of English course on speechmodification.com. It's going to walk you through what words have what sounds, spelling versus sounds, accent error patterns to watch out for. It's a great way to build a strong foundation to pronounce any word you like confidently and easily in American English. That's our Sounds of English course on speechmodification.com. I hope you'll check it out. I hope you'll join me tomorrow for tomorrow's Word of the Day and Saturday for our live class. Looking forward to seeing you there. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye, everyone. Hope to see you again soon.